Welcome into Soda City Living. Here on the show, we love to introduce you to Midlands-based artists, and we've got a really good one here for you today. Midlands-based artist Chris Reed. Thanks for joining us.
Hey there, thank you for having me.
We're excited to have you. I've heard some of your music. It is amazing. But for those who haven't, describe your style for us.
I lean heavy into the classic rock kind of vibe, but it's kind of what I was raised on. But I also love big band and swing music and jazz, and so I hope some of that kind of bleeds over into it. So that's a lot of blues as well.
Now you're performing solo for us here today on the show. Do you usually perform with others?
I've got a few different bands I play with. I play with my own band, Chris Reed and the Bad Kids, as well as the Soda City Brass Band with Mark Rapp. And then I also recently played an Elvis tribute show for the Elvis Ballet with Rodney Foster and Company at the Coger Center. And so I play with those guys as well.
Now tell us about that whole experience.
So we were down in an orchestra pit, and we didn't think we were going to be seen really, you know. There's a ballet going on behind us, and we're a little bit lowered in the orchestra pit. We can still see the audience, and then the show starts, and the light goes down on my head, and oh, we're putting on a show now. And so I'm grabbing the microphone and running all around. They said the only problem was they didn't know which show to watch.
Right.
Because there's a ballet going on, but there's also a rock show going on below all of that.
So I guess you did a good job.
It was a lot of fun.
Couldn't stop watching.
And the number one question everyone keeps asking me is, when are you guys going to do it again? And we're going to do it again. We're going to do it again in September. Still working out some details, but it's coming back in September, just the music side of it. And it will be the same lineup, but it will be at the Newberry Opera House.
Amazing.
So very excited about that.
Yes, that will be great. And I understand you do write your own music, so tell us about the inspiration for your lyrics.
I write a lot from personal experiences that I've had, whether it be with relationships or for my daughter. I have she's 6 years old, Natalie Jane, and I try to. Also, I lost a lot of my friends to suicide, and so a lot of my songs I hope can help people and help people know that there's still hope out there. So I try to convey that in my music as much as possible as well.
Now, has music helped you at all in any of your life struggles?
Most definitely, most definitely. That's been the only thing I've had in certain situations. So I'm very thankful to be able to do this for a living, because a lot of people ask me, how do you stay so busy all the time? And it's determination, and just I've worked really, really hard jobs. I've poured concrete for a living. I've been a plumber. I've dug the ditches and been under houses, and so I work really hard to. I really respect the people that still have those jobs. Don't get me wrong, because I was in the trenches with them. But I am very thankful to have the job I have, so I'm working as hard as I can to keep it.
Are there any artists that you look up to?
My father taught me how to play guitar, and he's not out playing. He's a school teacher. He teaches preschool, but he's one of my biggest inspirations, I'd say, is my father. But also, as far as like a guitar legend, or if you will, would be Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin. And it's not because he's the greatest guitarist in the world, it's because he's sloppy, and that gives me hope, because I feel like I could do something kind of like that, so I'm like, if he can do that, then
Right.
So
you do perform at a lot of different venues around town. Tell us some of those.
I play at the Joint on Main Street. I play for a few places in the Lexington area, Wings and Ale in Lexington, but I've also been playing quite a bit, all these different Carolina ale houses in Greenville and Myrtle Beach and Georgia, but also in North Carolina. I'll be playing a a sushi restaurant soon. I am also the house musician for a funeral home. Lots of interesting gigs, but I'd say my favorite places to play have been nursing homes.
Really?
And I play for about 7 different nursing homes, retirement communities at the moment. And they're so appreciative. They're so happy to see you. And you're not playing for very long, right? But you see that glimmer in their eyes of like, they remember when that song came out. They remember when this Elvis or Frank Sinatra or Bobby Darin, any of these songs that I'm performing for them, they're like, oh, that reminds me of and it's so cool to see them singing along and just all the joy that they have. There's just nothing like it.
Now you are from the Midlands, so what made you stick around and why do you love living here?
There's so much going on constantly. They're just and there's so much work for musicians out there. A lot of people, there's some people who are a bit on the gatekeeping side. Oh, you're going to steal my gig. There's no such thing as that, just because there's so much work for everyone. And I really, really appreciate all the opportunities that I've had through Cola Jazz, especially, whether it be stagehand work or actually performing. Mark Rapp has definitely helped further my career and many other people's, so definitely got to give him a shout out as well.
Any tips that you would give to aspiring musicians?
So the way I got started, I played at a place called Little Mountain Cafe, and I played there every Sunday. I was just playing for tips for a while, and then people saw me there and asked me to play at their venue, and then they saw me there and asked. So it all builds, But the easiest thing to do is to give up. The easiest thing is just, oh, this is too hard and nobody, but just keep going, because you never know who's going to be there. You never know, and put on a show as if there's hundreds of people in the audience, even if there's just 2. Because those 2 people could want you for a private party. They could want to tell you about their friends, about whatever it is. So just don't give up.
Wonderful. Well, thanks, Chris, so much for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You ain't jazz.